So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD and I have the full Easter egg guide for you to complete the Revelations Easter egg and get you the A Better Tomorrow Easter egg achievement 100%. All the steps will be made extremely clear for you, so you should have no problem at all getting this done. Now, I've been making Easter egg guides for years now on Black Ops, Black Ops 2 and all previous Black Ops 3 Zombies maps, and the support has always been incredible. And since this is the final Zombies map we're going to get for a very long time and you do find the video useful, then feel free to leave a like rating on the video before you leave. I really appreciate it, as a lot of time and effort has gone in to make sure everything is correct. And if you want to do this Easter egg on co-op and need players, then be sure to leave your PSN, Xbox Live and Steam names in the comments section to help you find some players. Now, this Easter egg can be done with any number of players, solo or co-op, and there are no prerequisites needed before starting the game. Although if you do want to get yourself a very nice calling card and a Dark Ops challenge, then you will need to complete all previous Black Ops 3 Zombies Easter eggs before you complete this one. And I'd also advise putting on some mega gumballs if you have any that can help out your team. Before we officially start the first step, make sure in your game you've turned on the power by going and opening every single piece of the map and doing all the corruption engines. You also want to find all of the Keeper Protector parts. They can all be found in Der Eisendrache / Kino. You can find the second parts in Verrukt and the third and final parts in the Origin / Mob of the Dead area. You also want to open the Pack-a-Punch by completing the corruption engines, going to Nacht and Toten and using the death ray on the giant Apothicon. With all that out of the way, we can begin with the very first step of the Easter egg, and this involves going to the spawn room. Now, outside the spawn room there are going to be 4 gravestones, and you want to shoot them in the order you see here on the video. It goes in the order of the characters that died in the storyline, being Richtofen, Dempsey, Takeo and Nikolai, and that is the order 2, 3, 1, 4, starting from the far left all the way to the right. Once you've shot all those, you'll see them all light up on fire with flames, and that's when you know you've completed this step correctly. Now, when this happens, a small rock gets shot to one of the jump pads around the map, and this is where our Keeper Protector comes in. Now, this is exactly what you're going to be looking for at the jump pad. It's a small triangular rock that is at the back of the jump pad, and it won't be in any other jump pads. It'll be specific to one. So look around the map and try and find that. When you've located it, be sure to buy the Keeper Protector for 5,000 points and take the Keeper over to that jump pad. If at first it doesn't start to do the ritual process, take the jump pad over and then take the jump pad back to where the rock is, and if you stand all the way back in the jump pad, the Keeper should start to do this ritual. At this point, this ritual will take around about 3 minutes to complete, and the zombies will only go for the Keeper. So it's your job to protect this Keeper and avoid it from taking any zombie damage. Now, this can go on for quite a few rounds depending on how long it's taking, but just stick in there. Be sure to keep protecting that Keeper. Eventually he will stop, and when he disappears he will drop a audio reel. This is the first of 3 audio reels that we're going to need in this Easter egg, and this one goes in the Nacht and Toten audio player, which is in the upstairs section. Placing this first audio reel in gives us a story of Sophia and a subject 26, and after that we can begin with the next step. So after that, try and spin the mystery box until you get yourself the little Arnies. Now, if you're playing in co-op, of course the more players that have the little Arnies, the easier this step is going to be. And once you do have the little Arnies, you want to make your way into the giant Apothicon worm. In here you'll find the Pack-a-Punch, and in here is where we begin the second reel process. Now, inside the Apothicon there are holes which the zombies spawn from. There are a total of 9 holes inside this Apothicon, and what we need to do is we need to throw little Arnies inside all 9 holes. You can only do this 3 holes at a time, so make sure you prone, get very close to these holes and throw your little Arnies in. And if you've done this correctly, what should happen is 3 Margwas will instantly spawn from the 3rd Arnie being thrown. Now, if you do miss one of these holes, do not worry, your progress does not reset. Just try and get a max ammo or get someone else in the game to throw their little Arnies into the hole you missed, and you should get the Margwas to spawn in. Now, we're going to need to repeat this process a total of 3 times, meaning that there'll be 3 sets of Margwas which will spawn, and you should have covered all 9 holes within the Apothicon, doing this 3 holes at a time. Once you've completed and killed your third set of Margwas, you should have a fair amount of points now, but also the second reel will have spawned inside the Apothicon. So make your way to the middle bridge, and on this weird bit here, you'll notice the second reel. Hold square to pick that up, and we can take this reel over to Kino Bowie to get a message radio from Sophia talking to Dr. Maxis. Once that audio reel has finished, we can begin the quest for the third and final audio reel. Now it's at this point you want to make sure that you have a pack-a-punched weapon of some sort. It can be any weapon at all, but you also want to make sure either yourself or someone in the game has the Apothicon servant out of the mystery box. We need this to be upgraded, and if you do not know how to do the upgrade to the Apothicon servant, I'll leave a link down below in the description to show you how to do that. Once you have both the upgraded Apothicon servant and an upgraded pack-a-punched weapon of some sort, make your way over to Shangri, and above Stamina Up, by shooting this rock, you'll get a skull to appear. Now that can only be appeared if you shoot that rock with a pack-a-punched weapon. Now get the Apothicon servant and shoot the wonder weapon into the area where the skull is. The skull should be sucked up and you'll hear a distinct noise knowing that you've got that. That's the first of 6 bone pieces around the map, and these can be collected in no particular order. So we'll move on to the second one, which we're going to show is in Nacht and Toten. You want to make your way up to the upstairs section and look exactly where I do and shoot this little rock here, and you'll notice a bone part start spinning. Again, if you shot that with a pack-a-punch weapon, you'll notice it starts spinning. Shoot the Apothicon servant there and it will suck that up, and that'll be the next one. The third one we're going to get is going to be in the spawn, and this is going to be in the church. So make your way to the corruption engine turret, look through this weird gap where you can see a ton of rocks, and shoot specifically where I do to get this bone to appear. Then again, shoot your Apothicon servant in there, and that's the third bone collected. The fourth one we're going to be getting is in Origins, and this is probably the easiest one to spot. You want to make your way over to where the robot would stomp in the original version of Origins and where Speedcola was, and look out the map towards this flame here. You want to shoot the rock, and you'll see the bone pop out nice and simple. Shoot the Apothicon servant, that is the fourth one. Our fifth one is going to be in Verrukt. Make your way over to there where the corruption engine is, and make your way to see where the waterfall is. Now shoot specifically where I do, and you'll get the bone to pop up. Now to me this is a very, very hard one to see, but once you've got that, make sure you shoot the Apothicon servant, listen out for that noise, and if you did hear the distinct noise, then you collected it. And we can move on to the sixth and final one. For this one, make your way over to Der Eisendrache and make sure the anti-gravity is enabled. If you don't know how to do that, stand on all of the pressure plates surrounding the pyramid, and that will activate anti-gravity. You want to do the wall run outside the map and go specifically where I do and shoot this certain part of the wall to reveal the bone. Now whoever has the Apothicon servant, do the wall run again, make your way over to there and make sure you shoot at the bone to collect that one, and that is the sixth and final bone piece. Now we've collected all the bones, make your way to Nacht and Toten and go to the upstairs section where the roof is open. You'll now notice a bunch of bones. These are all the ones that we collected. Shoot the Apothicon servant there and you'll see all the bones suck up and disappear, revealing a female zombie character which is just laid there. This is actually the original body of Samantha, which was taken over by the infection that she's mentioning in the audio reels. Shoot the Apothicon servant again at this zombie and you'll notice that it will drop a reel, and we'll need to take that to the mound at Origins. So make your way over there and hold square on the audio player, and it will play the third and final message between Sophia and Dr. Maxis, where he puts her inside the robot. Now once this reel has finished playing in Nacht and Toten where you got the audio reel, you'll now see the ghost of Sophia floating up there, and we need to bring her to life. We need to rematerialize her into the world. So in order to do this, you need to go to every corruption engine turret around the map, buy it for 2,000 points, and point the laser at one of the blue spinning orbs in the sky. It's one of the two, and you know when you got it because you'll aim directly in the middle and you'll literally be kicked off the turret instantly because the laser will point towards Nacht and Toten. By using these turrets, it connects the laser up in a circuit which will bring Sophia back to life. Now, if the blue orb you're shooting at doesn't work instantly, try the other one and then go back and just keep shooting the pinpoint middle and just wait until you get kicked off it. And then when you get kicked off it, you'll see this sort of effect where the laser will be permanently shot in the sky, bouncing off the orb. Come back to Nacht and Toten and you'll see that Sophia is now materialized as a real form. Now she'll be saying she wants to go to Maxis, and you'll need to follow her as she goes over to Kino Bowie. She'll go on top of the teleporter, and by holding square with every player inside, it will teleport you over into Samantha's room in the house. In here, you want to go up to her bed, and the chronorium will be sat there, this little book. Hold square to pick that chronorium up, you'll be teleported back into Kino, and you want to place this book on the stage. By placing the book down, it brings 4 blue orbs and souls into the projector room, and around the map, an Apothicon Egg will have spawned. Now, these Apothicon Eggs change up locations every single game, so in the description, if you want to open that, I'll have every single location that these eggs can appear. But the main gist of the areas that they can appear in is in Kino de Toten, in the spawn area, in Der Eisendrache, and finally in Verrukt. Now these eggs only spawn 1 at a time, and you need to get all 4. So if you've got 4 players, each player can assign themselves to their own egg. 2 players get eggs, 1 player, everyone gets their egg, it goes on, etc. So once you have found the Apothicon Egg, in this game it appeared directly in Kino on this armchair, you pick that up and you go over to the Apothicon Worm. Go over to any of these weird hatching areas here, hold square, and it will suck up the egg and it will be inside. And what you need to do is you need to get around about 15 kills with any type of enemy stood near the egg. Once it's done, you'll notice that the egg will hatch a gateworm that you can pick up. Pick up that gateworm and we can move on to getting our first rune of creation. Now again, these spots can be different every game, and you want to be listening out for a sonar beep. The first one that I found was in the spawn room, and this location is directly next to quick revive. If you hold square where you hear the sonar beeping very rapidly, you'll see the gateworm appear, and then it will bring you a rune which you can then hold square to pick up. Now in the spawn room there can be about 2 other locations where this rune can appear, and when you can get the sonar beeps to be extremely loud. The first one can be near the corruption turret, and the second can be near the jump pad going off to Origins. That's just an example of the different locations where you can find these, but they will be in the general area every single time. In our game, the second egg we found was in Origins, as you can see on screen there. We pick that up, we take it into the Apothicon, we charge it up with souls, and then we listen for the sonar beep. And in this particular case, the sonar beep was found in Der Eisendrache, where the PRIMIS statues are. It was actually balanced on top of a coffin. Another one we found was just out of the spawn room, going from the jump pad towards Shangri. It was just rested here next to a garbage bin. Pick that up and again repeat the process. Again, take it to the Apothicon, charge it up, then find the gateworm for the rune. And the fourth and final location we found in Verrukt was right here near the mystery box location up the stairs. So once you've got all 4 gateworms and you've got all 4 runes, we can begin with the next step. Now you have all 4 runes of creation, make sure all players make their way to the projector room of Kino de Toten and stand on these little symbols here, and it will teleport you into the boss room. Now this is the first part of the boss fight. This is not the only boss fight you'll be doing. This is a game of Simon Says, and in the room you'll notice a rune book, and if you hold square to interact on it, it will open and show you 4 random runes, and you need to remember the runes in this exact order it's showing. So the way I done it was I just took pictures on my mobile phone, that way I could see all these symbols pretty clearly and in the exact right order. And once you've seen all 4, make your way over to the other side of the room and you'll see a blue rune, and it will keep switching between all of the symbols, and when you see the symbol that matches in the order, just hold square or interact on it and that will bring the first one up, and repeat the process until you have all 4 symbols of these runes up. Now begins the first part of the boss fight. There are 4 stages for you to complete, and I'll be going in depth on what all stages are and how you go about completing them. This first stage is where the main bottom floor area is lit up on fire. There'll be a few Margwas which spawn, and that's what you need to focus on taking out in order to progress to the next phase. Now as this ground burns up, more and more of it gets covered in lava, which is super dangerous and will kill you if you stand on it for too long. So make sure you avoid that, use the upper floors as the main places to train up the enemies and take out the Margwas, and once you have taken out the Margwas, we move on to the second phase. This next phase I call the shadow phase, and again it will spawn more Margwas, and the aim is to take out those Margwas, but essentially in this they're going to be bolts of lightning flying around different areas of the map, and it will follow and track players. So what you want to do is try your best to avoid them, as if you get near them they will cause damage to you. And also there will be random rocks floating as pillars that will be moving every so often from left to right, blocking certain pathways as well, so be sure to avoid that, but focus on taking out all of the Margwas. Now I suggest bringing in a thunder gun as well as the Apothicon servant, a shotgun as well as perhaps a dingo, just so you have a ton of ammo and also something very easy to use to take out all of these Margwas. Now what is great is this boss fight part 1 gives you a max ammo, so feel free to use it when you need to, but try to use it when everyone in your team really needs to use the max ammo. Make sure you use that wisely. Now with this third phase, it seems to block off the main bottom floor of the map every so often, and it will also try and cage you in, just like the crazy place in the original Origins Easter egg. So what you want to do is, again, take out all the Margwas as quickly as you can and avoid getting trapped, because at one point or another I was literally caved in into a very small box shape, and I literally was almost about to die, so be sure to watch out for that. Once you've done that, we have one phase left to go, and this is a anti-gravity part. There'll be tons of areas on the map that if you stand on, they will inflict damage, and there'll be a bunch of spotlights which will keep moving every so often. These spotlights are completely normal for you to stand on, you will not inflict any damage, and you want to be standing in these whilst you are killing the enemies. Now again, we want to be focusing on taking out all of the Margwas as quickly as possible. Once we've completed that and all the phases, you'll notice the summoning key has now fallen down from it floating up in the sky, and one character in the game can pick this up. You'll be teleported back into the Revelations map, and it's here where we need to throw the summoning key into 6 different locations, and this is what I believe to be the best part of the Easter egg, as it is just a ton of nostalgia. Now these can be completed in absolutely no particular order, but we're going to be starting with the red barrel in Nacht and Toten. So come to exactly where I do, look outside the map, and you'll notice a red barrel. Throw the summoning key over to that red barrel, you'll see an item float up from it, and that is the first one done. The second area we're going to be going to is the Mob of the Dead section, and if you come over to the bridge and stare into this open cell and throw the summoning key, you'll hit the poster that is originally in one of the cells, and that will be our second item. You'll see a little Samantha doll spin there. The third section we're going to go for is the fountain in Verrukt. So once you come out of the teleporter past a corruption turret, look to your right and focus throwing the summoning key on top of the turret, and you should get that one nice and easy. The next one we're going to be doing here is the focusing stone in Shangri. So make your way up to the top of the stairs, look to your right where you can see the keeper, and you'll see that little orb. Just throw the summoning key there, and that will be a huge monkey bomb. The next one we're going to be going for is going to be the tombstone in Origins. So you want to make your way to the top of the mound where the original Pack-a-Punch was, look outside the map here, and you should see a gravestone similar to one of the staff pieces. You want to jump and throw the summoning key, and that will get that one. The second to last one we're going to be getting is the Der Eisendrak clock. So make your way out of the teleporter at Nacht, and straight away just boom, look up, throw the summoning key at the clock. That will be a nice one there for you. And the final one is going to be the chandelier inside of Kino Toten. Just throw it up there and you'll get the last and final one, and at this point you shouldn't have the summoning key anymore. It will be gone. Now the summoning key can be gotten back if it's lost, if it's fallen down somewhere. You will be able to find it by listening out for the noise, and in my game it glitched where I went through a teleporter holding it out, and what I had to do was press up against one of the walls by the teleporter, and for some reason we managed to get the key back, luckily. Once you've done this, make your way back to Kino Toten, step inside the teleporter and hold square with all players inside, and you'll be back in the final boss fight, and this is where we go against the Shadow Man. Start killing some zombies and you'll notice these green fountains in the upper level of the boss room. You want to go over to one of them and hold square, and that will put the summoning key within that turret. And what we need to do is we need to charge up the summoning key, and the way you do this is by leading enemies over to that section there and shooting them when they're close, and you will see the souls collect into the summoning key. Once you have enough souls stop collecting and the summoning key is shining, you want to hold square or interact to pick that back up, and then you'll have the summoning key in your hands again. You want to throw the summoning key into Sophia, and that will actually burst the Shadow Man's bubble. At this point, you want to be continuously shooting the Shadow Man so he ends up in the mouth of the massive Apothicon. This is very similar to the ending of the Shadows of Evil Easter egg when you trap and kill the Shadow Man, and it's exactly the same here. If you don't get it on your first go, then do not worry, you can keep repeating this by killing more zombies and getting the summoning key, placing it inside one of the turrets, charging it up with souls again, and then throwing it into Sophia. That will break the Shadow Man's bubble, and repeating this again and again until you eventually get the Shadow Man floating into the Apothecon's mouth. At that point, simply hold square on the book rune, and that will shoot a laser into the Shadow Man, and that is it, my friends. You have just completed the Easter egg. It will teleport you back out of the room and into the final cutscene, and there we have it. If this is your first time, you'll get 2 Dark Ops challenges as well as an XP for 20,000 for completing the Revelations Easter egg. And if you've completed all main Easter eggs, you'll be given 1 million XP as well as 2 Dark Ops calling cards, and of course the main cutscene. If you want to watch the cutscene in full, I have that link down below in the description. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you found this tutorial useful, then be sure to drop a like rating on it, as I really would appreciate that. If you're new around here, be sure to subscribe for even more Easter egg tutorials like this for future Call of Duty games, and I'll catch you on another one very, very soon.